James, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Pretty good?
Surviving one day at a time, Mitch.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what else to say. I've been playing State of Decay. Surviving one day at a time is all I do in that game.
Surviving one day at a time?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it like a daily thing, like Don't Starve?
Yeah, pretty much.
I gotta check that game out. Oh, it's an Xbox exclusive!
Oh, damn! Too bad you don't have an Xbox.
One day.
One day. GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update!
Alright. Speaking of Microsoft, we were just talking about the Xbox State of Decay. There is a State of Decay in Microsoft right now. Oh, transition. No, actually, there was a State of Decay. They're kind of coming back to civilization, it seems.
Before we get started,
okay,
let's just say that this is the GameFront update. It's not the Xbox News Weekly. It's just that...
I mean, we're sorry. They've been in the news all the time. Every time we do an update about Microsoft, they have a new message that we have to cover because it's so controversial. So, I'm sorry, but
this should be the last week if they can just
please just keep your mouth shut for a while, Microsoft. Just let your console come out. People will buy it, and then we can talk about the games. I want to talk about the games, not the console.
Cool. So, what were you gonna say?
But that being said, there was big news last week. Microsoft and the Xbox One, they pulled an Xbox 180 is the big buzzword right now.
Okay. Wasn't this just yesterday?
Yeah.
So,
did I say that?
You said last week.
Oh, did I say last week?
Because last week was when they were doing the bad stuff.
Yeah, I meant last week. Or no, I meant...
You meant last day.
I meant yesterday. What's wrong with me? My brain is in a state of decay. But yeah, so they came out yesterday saying that they were taking away the restrictions on used games. They're taking away the always online requirement. Basically, everything about the Xbox One from from a console standpoint was going to be basically the same as the Xbox 360.
Yeah. Hooray.
Outside of the power and the fact that it still comes with a Kinect and still costs $100 more than the PS4.
Yeah, I mean, the cost, we could argue till we're blue in the face, because some people will say it's a better machine, some people will say it's not a better machine. I am not qualified to make that decision, but I can say that I don't think the PlayStation 4 comes with the camera.
No, it doesn't.
So, I mean, let's just say it's a $100 dual camera situation that you're adding onto your thing, mandatory. Can we at least agree that that would cost about $100 more? Maybe.
Yeah,
so I think the cost. I think that the cost is understandable.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, the PS3 came out and it was what, $600 when it first came out.
Yeah.
There's a version that came out was $600.
There's two versions. There was one that was 500 and one that was 600, or it might have been 400 and 500. I'm not 100% sure. And plus, we would have to do all the math of like, this is the money of now. Like, and then 5 or 6 years ago, it was inflation, or whatever. I'm not an economist. I'm just a doctor, scientist, law understander, and other things, but not an economist.
Truth. But yeah, so what I want to talk about is kind of the response to this, because a lot of people have said, this isn't Microsoft doing the right thing. This is Microsoft being driven into a corner and basically being forced to go back on what their vision of the future was. So what do you think about that? Do you think that this is Microsoft looking out for the needs of consumerists, or is this just, oh guys, or is it like an Arrested Development thing where Job's like, I've made a huge mistake?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. I think that corporations are people, and sometimes people need to be forced into doing the right thing. And of course, I think that's BS. Corporations are not people. It's a joke. But what I'm saying is that they are trying to make it better for the consumer because that will be better for them. And they saw the backlash, and they realized that this is too important for them to mess up. It's too big of an issue. The question is, will they have to stick to what they said? And there's a lot of conspiracy out there that the system's designed for this structure, and they could just add it in later.
Basically, they're saying that Microsoft did this so that you can buy the console, and then a couple months from now they're gonna flip a switch and say, "Haha, it's back, bitches."
And I don't think that'll happen, because no matter when they would flip that switch, that would be the beginning of their state of decay again. I think that there would be a backlash whenever they did it. They're not playing the short game.
The backlash, if they did that, would be astronomically larger than what it is right now.
Yeah.
That would be a stab in the back, a complete betrayal of trust, complete PR meltdown.
Yeah.
They will not. I cannot imagine Microsoft being that dumb.
And additionally, Microsoft's not the kind of company that's in it for the short game. They're in it for the long run. They're probably already having concepts brought up of their next generation machine. So
I think that their next generation machine will be
better than the PS4.
Very, very similar to what they wanted to do with Xbox One. I think the direction that the industry is going is to, cloud gaming and having everything be digital and day one downloads, and retailers will probably be phased out. But we're not there yet. And people don't like it when a leash is put around their neck and they're dragged in the direction that Microsoft thinks that the game industry is going. Mm-hmm. So that was what happened here.
Yeah. But, the only other things that I really need to learn is, and I don't know it, and people can post comments of what they do know, but I'm not going to take those things as fact. I'm going to look them up myself, which I hope you're doing. But I need to know the actual tech of both of the machines. And I'm sure that information is mostly available, and I'm sure some of it is still secret. But before I make a really hard judgment on which machine I think is better, look at how well the Wii U is doing. That tech is not necessarily as good as either of those systems. But
wait, when you say, do you mean the Wii U is doing well?
I don't mean financially. I'm talking about the games. When I was at E3 and playing the E3 games, the ones at the Wii were spectacular. I had fun with all of them. Wasn't a big fan that it was almost all Mario-based games, but they really made that machine a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 looks amazing, guys.
I love it. I love it. And
you guys can have your Forzas, your Gran Turismos, all your ultra-realistic looking car games that basically have looked just as good as they have, 3 years ago. I'll take Mario Kart 8 because the style of that game and just it's really, really nice looking.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's not all the tech. I would still, just because something's technically better doesn't mean it's going to be the better console. But I would like to know the difference, because I think that there's a lot of power in knowledge.
Yeah, I do think that people have said that the PlayStation 4 is a little bit more powerful than the Xbox.
I've heard that too, but I have not actually looked into it myself, so I refuse to take that as fact yet.
Admirable of you.
Admirable guy.
I guess let's go into I posed this question to Twitter. I wanted to know whether this whole thing with Microsoft and them going back on this DRM, going back on this used game stuff, does that change their opinion of the Xbox One? And a lot of people said no. A lot of people said that, they already lost me. I'm a PS4 person. What do you think?
Well, I gotta be honest. It did change my opinion. I am a big fan of people admitting when they're wrong, making choices, even if they're forced into it. I think that them making a change does change it for me. I don't know if I'm going to buy an Xbox. It's pretty expensive. I'm going to probably only be able to afford one machine. And in all likelihood, I'll probably go for the cheaper one. But it did change my point of view. I was super anti it before, and now I'm like, well, we'll see how much money I have at the time of release.
Yeah. I guess another interesting thing that I found out from asking that Twitter question is that there are people who also are really disappointed with this move from Microsoft. There are people who were really looking forward to the family sharing plan that they had, the ability to instantly switch between games without having to go through discs and everything like that. There was a lot of really cool things that Microsoft was planning with the Xbox One. The problem is that with those good things, you know, in order to have those good things, you need to have these bad things that kind of just stuck to it like a parasite.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see if they could have it set up as its own tier of, like, there's Xbox Gold, then there's Xbox Family Plan, and you have the advantages that they have built into the structure, if you choose to, but certainly not have to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of Microsoft?
Well, not in terms of Microsoft, Mitch.
Yeah, there's been some rumors floating around that we wanted to clear up. So, Zach, would you want to come over here, and I'll give you my seat.
Oh, that's kind of you.
There you go. You can have the floor.
Shoot,
Oh,
you
so I
want
have
it,
the floor
Myra?
now?
I'll
Damn
give you
it.
my seat also.
Do you want your hat?
One cheek on each seat.
There, and I'll sit right here.
I'll go over here, sit on
This
James's
just feels
knee.
weird. Hi, I'm Zach. You may know me. I was in videos at one time. I'm leaving GameFront officially tomorrow. And it's been a fun ride. And I want to thank you all for being a part of it. And I wish you the best. And I wish these two the best. And yeah, I think that's all. So.
Zach, you took all of our pictures.
Did I?
Yeah, there's no pictures
Oh yeah,
on the wall.
all the walls are bare now because I'm taking my stuff with me.
You're a bastard.
I am a bastard.
But all truth being said, Zach, it has been the utmost of pleasure working with you, and I can't imagine how GameFront is going to be without you.
Really fun.
And I'm gonna pass it over to James because I'm gonna cry if I talk anymore.
Oh well. Oh, you know, come on in.
We'll just put at least a leg here so I can be also a guy that gave you a seat too.
GameFront,
Zach,
huddle up.
GameFront huddle up. I don't know if you guys realize this. I'm sure I've said it in a couple different videos. But Zach, you are one of the kindest people I have ever met in my whole life.
I could not hear that enough, though.
But
you have
it's
said it.
true. I don't know if people realize that, because sometimes you come across as kind of snarky or sarcastic in videos, and it's a really cool character side of you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna level with you, Zach. Sometimes you're a dick.
But it's kind
Put
of
it
like,
blunt.
I mean, we all kind of have characters that we play as a role, as an on-camera thing, and
Idiot, straight man.
super gamer. but you are consistently always looking out for your fellow person, not even person that you work with. Like, you're just the things that I admire about you, I hope to have more round myself out as a person.
Oh, well, thank you.
So
That's sweet.
you will be greatly missed, but I'm sure that I will not miss you long, because I'm sure I'll see you.
Yes,
very
we will.
much.
We will of course stay in touch, and you know, this isn't the state of decay of our relationship.
Oh,
Is that
again,
bad?
we came back to it.
I'm sorry. I was sitting over there thinking, like, how am I going to bring this into my conversation? I'm gonna
All
do
right,
it.
guys, hands in.
They're sweaty.
1, 2, 3,
GameFront!
And don't forget to like.
Comment!
Subscribe.